All right, who's on out there? Who is out there right now? There's 2 people on. Who's out there? Who's out there? Who's out there? Here comes Coda. Oh, now we're down to 1. As soon as I go on, there was 2. As soon as I go live, then we go to 1. Do you not want to go up there with you? Good old Coda Cam. There is 1 person on, and that doesn't count me. You're not on yet. So. One person. I don't think anybody has any math questions today. I don't think anybody's doing work today.
It's 5. It just turned 5.
It'd be all right. We're gonna go for a walk after this. Looks like he's trying to read the iPad first. Are you on?
What did you do?
Any math questions, anybody? Are you on? Alright, so I have 2 people then. He didn't want you on the iPad. He wanted you all to himself. No. You might have one. Marshmallow 229. That's kind of loud there, April. You're right. I was playing Boom Beach on that. You might have a question. Fire away. I'm bored. Oh, we're up. Oh, wait, that was you. That's why we're up to 3. I was really happy. I was like, woo, we're up to 3 now. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've been petting them. I'm searching through stacks and stacks of work. That's all good. I'm not going anywhere for a little bit, so yeah. Yeah, we got an email saying we should call every parent that have not corresponded back with us and let them know that their work is on Schoology. They don't have to pick up a packet. That'd just be a smooth 100 and some odd calls for me after the school. Well, they don't want us to. We're not supposed to use our personal numbers. Marshmallow searching through stacks and stacks of work. Huh. Good times, right?
All solutions. Very nice.
Okay, I can do that. Let's see. So I'm going to do all the real and complex solutions because I have a feeling this has got a complex factor 8 million or 802,240. Yeah, I don't think so. But oh, I got what you're doing. Yeah, your factoring looks okay. So we have x cubed minus 8 equals 0. So yeah, this is a difference of cubes. We can rewrite this as x cubed minus 2 cubed equals 0. That's going to factor to x2 x squared 2x, and then 4, because we do a, b, a squared, ab, b squared. Then you have to remember your signs. We want to remember SOAP. This is a minus, so SOAP, the first letter S, same. Opposite, always positive, SOAP. Same, opposite, always positive, so you remember your signs. Of course, this equals 0. From there, we just simply do the 0 product property. We get x minus 2 equals 0, and then x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. This is going to be complex, but this is easy enough to solve. Just add 2 to both sides. To actually get this one, let's use Dr. Lowe's method. Why not? It's A's 1, middle term's B, so we're going to do sum is going to be negative 2. My product is 4. So we're going to do, oh, they can go back and watch another video. Fine. The sum is negative B. My product is my C. So what we're going to do is we're going to take half of my sum and we're going to add some number to it. And we're going to do half of my sum and subtract a number to it. And that's going to equal my product. I'm going to FOIL this. It's going to give me 1 minus u squared equals 4. Subtract 1 from both sides. And I got negative u squared equals negative 3. From here, I'm just simply going to do change my signs. Oh, this is not even complex. Nope, this is positive 3. So now we have u squared equals negative 3. Take the square root. I have u equals plus or minus the square root of negative 3. This negative means it's an I, so I have u equals plus or minus I square root 3. We're going to plug it back in here to get my answers. And we're going to get negative 1 plus or minus I root 3. So that is also what our x equals. So our solution set here, we're going to have negative 1 plus or minus I root 3 and 2. There's your 3 answers. I think probably on this one it only wants 2, but if it wants a complex, there you go. Dr. Lowe's is super easy.
You're asking quadratic, not necessary.
Okay, so you can use the quadratic formula. It'll always get you the right answer. In this case, I would actually do Dr. Lowe's method like this because the math is very simple because my A here is 1 and my middle term here is even. If my A is 1 and my middle term is even, Dr. Lowe's method is super easy to do. If I had a number here instead of 1, and if this was an odd number, something crazy, then I would definitely use the quadratic formula. You don't have to do this method. You use the quadratic formula, you'll get the same answer. It's just this will work out much faster when you have a leading number of 1, leading coefficient of 1, and your B is an odd number. I mean, an even number. Good question, though. What other questions? I deep cleaned the board before we started. It was so dirty. What else? What else? What else? Oh, we're up to 5 people now. Did he just paw at the iPad again? He's mad. Okay, so yes, I have a piece of glass in front of me. It's a special type of glass. Me and my wife actually built this. We did quite a bit of research into it. It's just not a normal piece of glass that you get. No, I don't write backwards on it. I use a program that actually flips it, so it looks like I'm writing left-handed, but in reality I'm writing right-handed, so everything is just a mirror image that you're seeing. So I'm writing normal, and you see it normal, but you see it where it's flipped. That's why I wear a solid color shirt, because if I take something like this magazine right here, it's flipped around. So it looks backwards to you, but in reality it's the same. If you want to see how I set everything up, I have a video on my YouTube channel called Learning Glass. You can go watch that. The first 2 minutes is me actually setting up the entire studio in my classroom. What other questions? Marshmallow 229 is the first time. I haven't seen him or her. Like, It's My Boy ain't been on here for a while. Big Red ain't been on here for a while. It's Ya Boy. Questions, guys. Y'all got new packets today. I know you got to have some questions. I didn't write them good enough where you can actually work through the entire process by yourself. Well, I kind of did, but better to hear it live. Most people are visual and auditory learners. They're not print learners. Me too. I can learn both ways. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah. Questions, homies. Name what movie? Jack and the Beanstalk? No idea. Aladdin?
Wonders.
We should go get a Wii and play, so I can just play Twilight Princess. We can pick them up cheap now. They were so easy to beat.
Your favorite move, thumb split?
And that's what you needed to do on that. Wow, they're just listening to us talk. There are like 4 other people besides you on here. They're just listening to us talk. I'm letting them do them. I wish I had a math problem to work. Oh my goodness. Well, the fact that Monday there's 5, that means there's going to be more people as the week goes on. Because Monday and Fridays are the slowest day.
Sorry.
If you're working off a packet, just give me the day and the problem. All right, so week 2, day 2, question 1. I'm assuming algebra 2. Week 2, day 2, geometry. Week 2, day 2. Oh yeah, they've done E and H. No. E, F, G, H are the points, and they rotate. Okay, so on this with day 2, you're probably just overthinking it because that's kind of the biggest thing that happens with these. Right here on the page that you have, these are the mapping, the predetermined mapping for the rotations. So I want to pick numbers. Let's do. I want to do 2, and then I'm going to do 9. So number 2. Number 2 says reflect. Horrible. Over y equals negative x. So I'll go up to the top and find where it shows reflect over y equals negative x, which is the very last bullet in the first section. And it tells me that my mapping, when I have an x, y, it's going to map to negative y, negative x. So now I'm just going to do 1 point so you can do the other so you see how this works out. So I'm going to do point E. So E is 2, 4. This is my pre-image if you remember from last semester. And now I want to write my mapping negative y, negative x. And this is going to give me my image of E prime. So all E prime becomes is my y value comes first, and I do the opposite sign. So I have a y value, which is positive, so I'm going to do the opposite sign, so I have negative 4. My y value is actually the x number with the negative sign. So I have a 2, so this becomes negative 2. So the pre-image of E would reflect over y equals negative x by using this mapping. Becomes E prime is negative 4, negative 2. You do that with the 3 other points. Now number 9 says rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Horrible clockwise. All right, so same thing. We're going to go down now to where it says rotations about the origin. And you're going to find where it says 90 degrees clockwise. That mapping is x, y. It becomes y, comma, negative x. These mappings are all the key to this sheet. Now I'm going to do point E again. So I have my pre-image E at 2, comma, 4. And now it's going to map, when I rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, to y, negative x. And that's going to give me my image. So my y is going to come first, but I'm going to keep the sign because it's just y and y, so it's 4. And then my x is second, but I'm going to change the sign. This negative means I change the sign, so I have a positive 2, it becomes a negative 2. So this is what you're going to do with all the other points. I really think you're just overthinking it. Just use all the mappings here and just swap out the x's and the y's and changing the signs as it tells you to do it. What else? What else? What else? Hey, Marshmallow229, are you a student at the school district or are you just a random person?
They said they get a bill for that problem you just did.
Okay. Because I have a way that you can actually screenshot and send me questions, Marshmallow, if you're not an actual student, where you can just reference a page that the students at Cove have. Yes, I am what? Oh, what class do you have? Watch them say your class. Totally understand who Marshmallow is. In geometry, so instead of typing in the packet, the problems, you can actually just tell me what page, like week 1, week 2, week 3, day 4, number 5, and I can actually have all the packets right in front of me and I can go right to them. Oh, they probably have me for Algebra 2. Oh, I think I know who that is. For Algebra 2, right? Have me for Algebra 2? Yeah. You know, we have these crazy scenarios. Well, it's just, yeah, it's just weird. What are the questions, guys? What are the questions? Good thing is that the geometry packet, I mostly put together with a little bit of help from Mr. Shotwell and Mr. Fitz. We're going to actually conference tomorrow to see what we want to do kind of going forward, because we have 2 weeks done, and we just want to be prepared in case we have to. Need more time. So it should be in your Schoology course under week of 330 through 4-6, I think. Let me look.
Well,
Thank you. I don't know if the other teachers have already dropped them in. I know my kiddos, to find the work, they would go to their Schoology class, their Schoology course, and there's a folder that says week of 330 through 4-3. I set it up for all the other teachers. They just had to drop it in their class. So I'm pretty sure they've already done that. So if you find a folder that says week 330 through 4-3, and then you click on it, it'll have day 1, 2, and 3. There's only 3 days on there. They only wanted us to do 3 things because you guys have all your different classes, and then just kind of work through those folders. Day 2. Oh, wait. Week 2, day 1, question 1. All right. That's easy enough. Sometimes I get it faster than you. In geometry, this one. Week 2, day 1, question 1. Okay, so on this one, and I'm just going to read it out loud because I know you should have it in front of you, is you need to write a mapping. So you're going to have a point, and you need to write a mapping, and then you need to find your image and pre-image. So let's just dive in. Number 1 says, given the pre-image, hold on, I can't read. Given the pre-image segment AB, the image A prime B prime can be created by the following transformation. A horizontal translation, so we're going horizontal. Translation. Wait, I don't need the word translation. That's just excess. Horizontal translation left 17 and a vertical vertical translation up 6. Okay. So these are really just the key words here. Horizontal. Horizontal is going this way. You have to think, is this going to be the X or the Y axis? Well, when we go this way, that's the X axis. So this is going to be my X. Left, if you're at the origin, you're going left. Those are going towards negative numbers. So left means minus, and then 17. So here's the X component of my mapping. Vertical is going up and down. So up and down, the axis that goes up and down is my Y axis. Up, so if you start at the origin and you go up, that's actually positive numbers, and this is 6. So my mapping for this, if I have a point of x, y, it's going to map to x minus 17, y plus 6. That's the mapping. So that's the first thing I ask you to do with each one of these written descriptions is to set up the mapping. Horizontal is always going to be your x. Vertical is always going to be your y. Left is going to be negative. Right will be positive, so plus. Up is plus or positive. Down is negative. And then the numbers, whatever is the numbers you put on there. So let's look at just point A. I'll do point A, and then I'll let you do the other ones. A is negative 3, 8. And that maps to x minus 17, y plus 6. This is going to give me my image A prime. And all I do is take this negative 3 and I'll plug it in here. Negative 3 minus 17, well, this gives me a negative 20. I'll plug my 8 in for my y because this is my y value. So I have 8 plus 6. Well, that's 14. And I'm done. So here's my pre-image, my image. I set up my mapping, and I'm done. That's all I'm asking you to do on this entire page. And now some of the problems I gave you fractions and things just to make you practice fractions. But the whole key idea here is horizontal left, horizontal right. Vertical up, vertical down, and then the units. That's the whole idea of setting up this mapping. What else? What else? What else?
Check to make sure you're, when you're saying left, you're actually pointing left.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So it is weird. Like when I point left, I go left, but when I right, everything's a mirror image. So when I look at it, even though I know it's a mirror image, everything's going the correct direction for me. All right, what other questions, guys? What else? What else? What else? Cody's asleep over there. No. It may have lagged. Why? Is your Kodacam not working on the stream? What do you mean, over you? Your hand? Oh, you're frozen. Kodacam's frozen.
Yeah.
Kodacam's frozen. Oh, I lost it. It's not connected. Let me just pop it off. All right. Week 2, day 4, number 6, geometry. Week 2. Huh?
Is that your laptop?
Yeah, now it is. because the Codecam is right here normally and it blocks it. What? Hold on, guys. Let me fix the Codecam. Man, I am not doing implicit differentiation with integration. Not going to happen. Although that's a good question, not doing it. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Codecam. All right, hold on. Hold on. I'll go to my recording setup. A little better. What's white back there? All right. Oh yeah, I need to go a little further back, a little further down with this. Huh, I lost that piece because I had a piece that was taped on there. Okay, whatever. Let's go. All right, what was the first question?
Week 2, day 4.
Week 2, day 4, number 6. Hey, it's a quadratic. 3x squared plus 13 equals 25. All right, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So when we solve this, we want to get x squared by itself before we do anything else, first and foremost. So we want to think of PEMDAS. So PEMDAS, this gives me my roadmap for algebra, because if we go this direction in PEMDAS, if we go backwards, it's actually algebra. So we're going to look and say, well, we got to get x by itself. So we're going to start on the bottom. Am I adding or subtracting anything to x? The answer is yes. I'm adding 13. So if I'm adding, I want to do the opposite, which is subtract 13 from both sides. This gives me 3x squared equals, that should be 12. All right, so we've done the add and subtract part. Now we go to the next level, multiply, divide. Am I multiplying and dividing anything by this x? The answer is yes, I'm multiplying by 3. So if I'm multiplying, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. And now I have x squared equals 4. So now I have x squared equals 4, but x is still not by itself, so I go to the next level. Is there an exponent on x? Well, yes, there's an exponent on x. This is the key. What you need to know is that the square root of x squared, that just equals x. Or the square root of x squared, either the square is on the outside or the inside, it doesn't matter, equals x. So that means to get x by itself, I have to do this square root. But when I do the square root on both sides, I have to have a plus or minus because it's ambiguous. So I'm going to square root both sides. So I'm going to do square root of x squared. So I have this one equals plus or minus, because I introduce it on this side, I have to do the plus or minus, the square root of 4. So now the square root of x squared, well, that's just x. And the square root of 4 is just 2. So my answer is a positive 2 and a negative 2. That means if I put a positive 2 or a negative 2 in here, this side will equal 25. It's just PEMDAS backwards. That's all algebra is PEMDAS backwards. Good question. He really wants me, calculus perhaps, after this question, of course. Why? Yeah, no. Because I have to split variables there. So he's saying do this. Y times 2x to the 4th plus y dy dx equals 1 minus 4xy squared quantity squared. I think it might be times 2. Is this what you're talking about, Marshmallow? Oh, an x squared on the outside?
that's right, but then...
So get rid of the square. You think it's x squared. I don't know. I don't know if they're still there. Exactly that. What does the problem tell you to do? Does it tell you to find the position function? Does it tell you to find the second derivative? What does it tell you to do? Because there's different things I can ask that could be asked off of this question. Because this is a velocity function, technically. I can find the position function. I can find an acceleration function. I can split the variables and go backwards. Here, I'm just going to do it this way. So 2yx to the fourth plus y squared. I don't need this anymore. dy dx equals x squared minus 4x cubed y squared. I'll put all my... All right, cool. I want to bring this over, and I've got y squared plus... Well, that's problematic. A practice problem for the SAT? There's no way that's a practice problem for the SAT. All the ones I've seen, I've not seen one like that. Is that out of a book or straight from College Board? Because SAT doesn't go up to calculus. It stops at trigonometry. I know that for a fact. Because if this is just a problem, then... Because what I was thinking is I want to bring this over. I want to isolate y. I wonder if this factors if I bring it over. So y squared plus 4x cubed y squared plus 2y x to the fourth dy equals x squared dx. I just multiply both sides by dx. But from here, if this factors where I can get x by itself, but I don't think it does because of this 3 right here. 2, maybe, oh yeah, I think it does actually. No, because this had to be y squared. This over here, maybe? Yeah, they are not doing differential equations, because that's what I did here is I'm separating variables, but sometimes differential equation is actually the second hardest math class I ever took. Seriously, the second hardest math class I ever took. They're not, and that's a junior level college class. They're not going to ask that on the SAT. The SAT stops at trig. A differential equations on an SAT practice problem. Did you get that from the College Board website, or did you get that from like a practice book? Because that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to do separation of variables. So, because I could do this and do y squared times, this becomes 1 plus 4x cubed plus 2yx to the fourth, right? But I still have this term here that's bugging me.
Come on, it's...
Yeah, that's why they redesigned the SAT 4 or 5 years ago, and the highest that's on there is trigonometry. Most of SAT stuff is how I do in class. They make you find an answer and then use the answer to actually answer a question. It's more of critical thinking. This is not taught in high school. Maybe AP Calculus for a small section. You should have learned separation of variables in Cal 1. You should have. It's actually in the Cal 1 curriculum.
I was also taking final.
That's true. But one, I'm rusty on differential equations. I'm sure there's a trick to this, but
that's why I was.
Oh yeah, If you're in high school, you have no idea on this unless you're in an AP Calculus class, and we're not even offering an AP Calculus class this year. So I'm wondering, I probably have to linearize that, which I'm even rusty on creating a polynomial out of that. There's a lot of different techniques to actually do that, but without me actually having done DiffyQ in 8 years, 9 years, trying to do that off the top of my head ain't gonna happen. Just not gonna happen. I remember the separation of variables.
Oh, it has been that long, huh?
Yeah.
Crap.
But I did do the MIT OpenCourseWare one. Woohoo!
I am missing all the MIT.
You couldn't see me either. Any other questions? Since my wife is mocking me over there.
Equation 24x squared plus 25x 46.
Oh, so they're working SAT stuff.
Ax minus 2.
24. That's not a 4. That's an X.
24x.
24
plus 25x minus 40. Then it's ax minus 2 equals 50. For all values.
Okay. So after the 47, is there an equal sign there, or is it just like a break another equation? Something like this. AX.
Well, because it has AX
minus 2 equals 8x minus 3 minus 53. And this is AX minus 2, which is here. Is true for all values of x when x does not equal 2. Marshmallow, do you know how to snip a problem? Because you can snip a problem, and then I want to put something up here and send me an email.
Oh, my bad. The proper way to write it would be equation 24x squared plus 25x minus 47, and then divided by 2.
Okay, that would make more sense. So 24x squared plus 25x minus 47
over ax minus 2.
Ax minus 2, which would make sense because then ax cannot equal 2. Equals
minus 3 divided by
ax minus 2. All right. And then right, and that makes sense because if x equals 2, then if a is 1, then you get 0 in the denominator.
So then the question is value of a. Big A is those are the
where it says yeah. Where x cannot equal 2. So 2 times, and the answer choices are negative 16, 3, 3, and 16. Plug them in, see what happens. if I put the rest of the problem stays the same, but I have it written correctly now. Honestly, I'd plug those in and just see. I honestly would plug them in. No, but that's different than when you're taking the SAT. This is a SAT, and it's all about time. Okay. So I could solve for X, but that's not what the question's asking. It's not what the question's asking. Does it say X cannot equal 2A? Or 2? Is it this, or is it X cannot equal 2?
Her question is like, she just guessed and moved on, tried to make as while she's saying. So if you're asking you what to do, then just plug them in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So on this, so first of all, let me ask you: is it X cannot equal 2A?
X cannot equal
2 divided by A. X cannot equal 2 divided by A. Okay. Well, to be honest with you, and this basically says, let's see, what is the value of A? Well, that's easy enough. It actually is pretty easy. Plug this in. What we cannot have is we cannot have AX minus 2 equals 0, right? That's where they get this formula from. Because now they're going to add 2, and they get AX equals 2, and X equals 2 divided by A. So that's where this is coming from, is that you can't have a 0 here. So we need to figure out what number A right here would be to plug it in. Just plug your numbers in. Just plug your numbers in. So if I put negative 16 in here, let's do an easier one, 3. So if A is 3, oh, we got to solve for X. Okay. So X, they say if they're telling you if A is 3. Watch how this works. I can find X, plug everything in, right? And if it works out, then it works fine. So if we know that A is 3, we know X equals 2 divided by A, which is going to be 3. This gives me 3X equals 2, or really X equals 2/3, right? You can plug it into every one of these X's. And if I have now 2/3 times 2/3 minus 2, then as long as that doesn't equal 0, you're good. That's all I do is plug it in. The trick with the SAT. So let me tell you the trick with the SAT. If you don't know how to immediately solve it, I don't like the idea of skipping and coming back, because more likely you're going to forget about it and not come back. Make an educated guess. Honestly, make an educated guess, because you're only allowed 90 seconds per problem. That's it, 90 seconds per math problem. And if this is in the calculator part or not in the calculator part, at worst, if you just have to completely guess, you have a 25% chance of guessing right, whereas if you leave it blank, it's a 0% chance. It's not like the SAT back in the day where they would penalize you if you guessed and you got it wrong. Here, if you guess and get it wrong, it's just like if you leave it blank. So I would at worst just guess. If you don't see how to solve a problem within the first 30, 45 seconds to a minute, make an educated guess and move on. I hate to say that, but some of the problems on the SAT are a little bit more difficult. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you have to get used to doing math without a calculator. The SAT has a whole thing without the calculator. I'm kind of curious on this problem now. I actually want to finish solving it out. I want to solve for X, see what X is, and then figure out from there what A could be. So, no, that's not true. No, you're not screwed if you're not a math wizard. A lot of these questions are meant to be solved this fast. And if you take your time to prepare yourself for it, you're okay on it. There will be problems that are challenging. There's problems when I look at, like at this at first, I'm like, what do? I know what to do on this problem. I want to solve for x, and then I know if I have x here, I can solve for a, what a can't be. So you're not screwed like you kind of put in the comments there, but just honestly do your best. I promise you this, you will know the majority of the problems on the SAT. You will have seen them if you've done your work through high school. So to solve this, I'm going to solve for x first, and I'm going to have 2x squared plus 25x minus 47 equals negative 8x, 24x, minus 8, minus 8x minus 56, because I just combined those. I'm going to move everything over. I have 24x squared, 25 and 8 is 33. 33x, and I add 56, this gives me 9, right? Plus 9 equals 0. No, it does have a GCF of 3. This gives me 8x squared plus 11 plus 3 equals 0. So this gives me 8x squared plus 11x plus 3 equals 0. 24, what are factors of 24 that will add up to 11? 8 and 3. So this becomes 8x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 3 equals 0. Factor it out. 8x gives me x plus 1 plus 3, x plus 1. So this gives me 8x plus 3 and x plus 1 equals 0. Therefore, x will equal a negative 3/8 and a negative 1. All right, so from here, if we knew that x cannot equal, what is it, 2 divided by a, if I know what x is here, I can say negative 1 cannot equal 2 divided by a. I can swap these and I have a cannot equal negative 2, which makes sense. Simply because if x is negative 1, a can't be negative 2, because that gives you 2 minus 2 is a denominator. And then the other one is going to be negative 3/8 equals 2 divided by a. From here, just swap these out and I get a equals 2 divided by negative 3/8. Change and flip, so I have 2 times 8 over negative 3. 8, that gives me negative 16 over 3 equals a, which they give you options of 16 and 3. That's where they're getting the numbers from right here. It's not bad.
She likes to get approximately.
Yeah, that's not bad. What you need to do is, honestly, you need to link your SAT scores to Khan Academy. Khan Academy then will actually, they have a deal with College Board, whereas if you link your SAT scores to Khan Academy will tailor make what you struggle with to help increase your scores. But you have to be dedicated to studying, because if you're just intermittently studying, you're not going to increase. You have to show a deliberate effort, almost like 30 minutes to an hour almost every night for 6, 7, 8 weeks, and that can actually boost your score by 50 to 100 points. It's not something easy to do, especially when you start getting those big numbers. If you had a low number, it's easy to make big improvements, but 12 to 1300, that's pretty tough, because 16 is perfect. But I agree, if you can get to 13 or 1350, that's where the big money, the big scholarships open up, and not just like the $400, $500 scholarships, to several $1,000 scholarships. It is a lot of work. The question is, do you want to put in the work to have a chance to make big scholarships, or do you want to cheap your way out now on time and then have to pay for it later on when you actually have to take more classes?
Trust me, I wish somebody would have retaken the SAT to where she would have gotten large scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Her tuition is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Her out-of-state tuition is freaking ridiculous.
I know. What else? So Marshmallow is not my student. Marshmallow, send me an email on my school email. I don't want to say it all out loud for the world to know.
Private message. Do you have
Let me see. Yeah, see if you can, because you're a moderator, and then give her my email. Because then what I'll do is I actually have 3 practice tests straight from College Board that are English, math, with or without calculator and everything else. Yeah, if you email me that, I can actually attach those files to you. It's a zip file. There's 3 different tests that you can use. They're free. I got them from College Board, where you can actually practice like the time test. It's got an answer sheet and everything else, so you can mimic the type of test. But you can also see how they're actually structuring their questions. And by the way, I didn't like that problem that you technically had. I know where they got the numbers from, but yeah, I didn't like that problem. I'll tell you this though, all those problems like last year, those SAT problems I gave you, they came from College Board. So if you look at the old stuff we used to do last year, all those SAT problems I made y'all do, they were from College Board. So if you don't remember it, just message Scott Shotwell.
book is trash man from the 19th.
Yeah.
Have it.
It's at the high school, actually.
Oh.
No, I have 3 practice tests. If you message me, I can give you 3 more up-to-date practice tests. These were about the new release and everything else. That's going to be better off for you. Same with doing Khan Academy would be better for you than using a book from like the 1960s, 1970s, even the 1990s, because they completely redesigned how the SAT's done. So I'd hate for you to be studying the old philosophy of the SAT, and it doesn't improve your score. So and that's great if they're in calculus, but you're looking at SAT. The SAT doesn't have any calculus on there. It doesn't. It only goes to trigonometry. So it does do some pre-cal trigonometry with identities, but that's like 1 or 2 questions.
College Board practice?
Yeah. I got them straight from College Board. I mean, I can email them, or you can go to collegeboard.com. Here, let me see if I can actually pull it up and then... Where's my map? There it is. Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, I'm going to display up my computer screen real quick so you can see where I'm at. All right, so here's the display. I went to College Board. Let me just go back. I went to collegeboard.org. On collegeboard.org, when I scroll down, I see right here it says SAT subject tests. I clicked on that, and it brought me here where it says upcoming events. It says blah, blah, blah. But down here it says SAT subject test student study guide, SAT and SAT waivers. It's in Spanish and a brochure. So let's see what this is right here. It's a PDF doc. And this gives you the study guide. Does it give actual problems? Student guide. Okay, not study guide. Let me see if they have practice tests. Don't know. That's going to be a decision by TEA and the administration, not me. Because I hope not, because that means I have to work this summer. I don't want to work either. Oh, I just went to their website and typed in practice SAT tests. Practice test SAT, and there's 3,000, and these are on just on theirs. And this one talks about online SAT practice test on Khan Academy. So like I was saying, the Khan Academy, you can start an online practice test. And then look, there's SAT practice test downloads right here. There are 1, 2, 3. Wow, there's a bunch of them. So if you just go to their website and type in SAT practice tests, right up here into the search, and I clicked on the very first link, and it gave me a bunch of different practice tests that you can look at. And on top of that, doing the Khan Academy thing, that would be your best result than just working out of an arbitrary book that your friends recommended. What do you mean nobody? Oh, nobody. Oh, what's up? Nobody cares? A little late to the game here. Already been doing this for an hour. And mildly salty. I think that'd be like Dead Sea salty. They probably don't get that reference. Oh. Any math questions? There you go. Any more math questions, guys? If not, I'm going to end the stream. We've been doing this for an hour. If y'all have questions, I'll stay. But if we just shooting the breeze, I'm going to go walk my dogs. Where'd Coda go? He just dipped. Oh, so he can't be on TV?
Yeah. I'm mildly.
No? No, not the Coda cam. Like if I, all right, so if you look over here.
Oh, that's not the.
Yeah, okay, that's just if I put the Coda cam on there, see, it's still frozen.
I'm tracking.
So when I take it off, yeah.
Okay.
Generally for an hour, and if I have a bunch of people asking questions, I'll stay longer. But I haven't really had to stay longer than an hour. I've been less than an hour because I think one time there was like nobody on.
So Monday through Friday at 5 p.m.
Oh, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. That's when I'm doing this. Is that what they were asking?
Oh, do you Monday through Friday, 5 p.m.
Up to like 6:30, maybe 7. It just depends. It may be just 5:20 if ain't nobody on. I ain't going to sit here and just talk to myself if my wife's there. No. 15. No. I think the longer this drags on, the more people are going to come to the stream. Especially the fact that we're starting to do new material in math. You guys are going to have questions. And trying to learn through email, not the best thing. But if you can come here and ask me a live question, or I can answer, I think more and more people will use it. I really, honestly, I don't know why people aren't getting on here. Yeah, maybe they don't know. Y'all need to help spread the word. Because if y'all have questions, I know they have questions. There's no way that I have 160 students, but this is for all of geometry and all of algebra 2. There's no way that we have 800 kids and only 4 people have questions. It's just not mathematically possible. So, yeah, spread the word, Marshmallow. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream unless you got a question. I'll give you one more minute, and then I'm going to end the stream. And at this for an hour. Mostly SAT today. Miss Freeman would be happy. All right, I'm ending the stream.